Oh, I thought that was for a picture. And we are recording. Alright, hi. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wilda Echenza and video number 1. Cool. So, what I wanted to talk about in my first debut to YouTube is everything wrong with Lego Masters. Whew. So that show just finished last week on Wednesday, and now this video isn't to shit on the Lego Masters show necessarily. No, it really isn't, because I love the show super duper. Me and my friend, we watched it every episode. We were so heartbroken when I think it was, we finished episode 8, then I came over, so we were supposed to watch episode 9, and then we found out that it was moved to next week. So we really enjoyed the show. More my friend than me, for sure, or I mean, he was definitely more excited for it than me, I think, because here's the thing, like, I love competition shows. Competition shows,
yes, give me that. Give me all that anger, Gordon Ramsay, Simon Cowell, I want to hear that feedback.
I grew up on that stuff. That's my jam. And my friend, he's the one who's more obsessed with Legos. So, clashing of both worlds, I was like, let's watch Lego Masters. And recently, myself, I got super into it so much that I'll insert a little clip. So yeah, this is my really cool first giant Lego set. Yay! So, really awesome. If you notice some flaws, the Lego Masters in the group experts, shh. But anywho, this is it in all its glory and some flaws. But anywho, yeah, this is really cool. I was gifted this on my birthday, and yeah, this is what started the love for building Legos. Well, no, not really, but furthered the love for Legos. Yay! It's the Ninjago Japanese set, Japantown set. That one. Ever since then, I actually feel, so I'm like 26 right now, I feel like I missed out a little bit in my life not building Lego sets all these years. I wish I had, but I will continue to do that because it's so fun. Now, anyway, with that being said, and my background more on, you know, watching a lot of competition shows, I definitely had feedback and have all the tea that I will give you of my feedback on Lego Masters. This is pretty much for me a things can always be improved video, okay? So I have my notes down here, so I'm gonna be looking down, looking up. Anyway, so going to my first part, pretty much it's just the lack of prizes I thought was definitely not a great thing. And what I mean by lack of prizes, I'm not talking about the 100 grand, okay? That was amazing. Of course, we're gonna have that great grand prize. But what I'm talking about is the lack of incentives throughout the episodes. For example, so episode 1, you know, we got introduced to the golden brick. But I think in episode 2, when Amy and Tyler won, you know, with their glorious design of that green monster coming up for the hero and the smash. So when they won that challenge, I thought it would have been totally fair for if in episodes 3, the cut in half challenge, where yeah, instead of running over to pick your model, I think it would have been fair that, okay, fine, everybody else can run for it, but I think that Team Tyler and Amy or Team Marriage definitely should have gotten first pick for that challenge. I thought that would have been cool. And just throughout the show too, I think that every time, you know, they always had like a winner at the end of each episode. I think that person should have had some kind of incentive or some kind of advantage for the next challenge. And, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, as much as everybody loves making Legos and everybody, you know, is having a great experience, I also think that this is a competition. And of course, the 100,000 is very motivating, like, you know, but especially early on, it is what I like to say, a shimmery mirage in the distance. You know, it ain't close yet, so I thought it would have been good, like in the span of 10 episodes, that they had these little pots of gold along the way to really push people to, of course I know they're doing their best every challenge, but to really even push them even more to like really want to win this challenge and not just want to survive. I hope that makes sense. So that is point number one, the lack of consolation prizes or little advantages throughout the show. I thought we definitely needed that, okay? And another thing, this is kinda, I'm not sure if this is like a main point, but like one thing in my notes that I wanna like shoot out is, I also like, so I thought it was fine that they had like a little running session where they had to like run to like get the model or something, or you know, whenever they had their little runoffs. But I think one thing that also made the show a little unfair, when they would have those little sessions, is those were 2 rows of contestants, okay? So you had 5 people in the front, 5 people in the back, and then the judges were like, get ready, set, run. What about the people in the back? What if they're slow runners? What if cardio ain't their thing? Then, I don't know, I thought that also, like, if you're gonna make everybody run, I think they should all be in, like, one straight line. So I'm just gonna insert that as well. Anyway, so, point number 2. My point number 2 is so much time wasted. Oh my god, this got me so triggered during the show. So I think the best example for this was when it was the episode, give me a minute, looking through my frazzled list. It was episode 5 with the Mega City Block. Okay, so here's the thing, it was like mid-season of the show that they started having these, like, you would submit your creation and then they'd have the wait, there's more. And while that was fine and definitely added more to the show for sure, like, hey, who doesn't want to watch more, right? I thought it was kind of, I thought it was really, like, ridiculous when, for example, like, yeah, episode 5, Mega City Block, so they had finished, oops, my laptop. So they had finished making their structures, okay? And then they had to push it all to the front in order to create that big city, right? And that was fine, and like I said, I was good with, oh no, wait, there's more, then they had to go back. But what I wasn't okay with was, why did the timer start ticking when they weren't even back to their stations yet? And to even point out, this was that episode where we found out that rolling a giant tall structure in a very timely or doing so in a rushed manner does not equal good things. Did we learn from that lesson?
No.
Timer starts now, rush, rush, rush back. I don't know, I think it would have been better if they had given everybody time to, you know, slowly push their things back to their station. Then the host was like, okay, time starts now. So I think that the timing, the clock, time management was not the greatest on this show, because like time was of the essence for these people, and of course in any game reality show. And another big time moment, which I was like, was, it was in the finale, actually. So really nice, really sweet. And a lot of shows do this, you know, they bring the loved ones in. And that was great, you know, that really boosted the morale of the contestants, I'm sure. But they do the same thing where, you know, of course the contestants have to say goodbye, and so our host was like, but we gotta let them finish what they started. Let's get the time back up, let's get the clock back up. And then even before everybody leaves, like, the time starts ticking down, and I'm like, no. Like, they only have a limited amount of time left, and like, of course, like, especially with some of the people there who only have like one family member come by, you know, that would have been a quick hug, then get back to work. But what about for those who had like their whole family, like for Amy and Tyler, Team Marriage, like when they had their whole family come over? I mean, that's gonna take off like at least 2 to 3 minutes of your time saying goodbye. So I don't know, I mean, it's minor, but in a competition where time is ticking, I really think that they should have let people say their proper goodbyes and then resume the time. So there you go. Okay, now going to point number 3, the spoilers. This show loves to spoil itself. And what I mean by this is, yeah, so after each episode, there would be like coming up next week. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Like, so, look, I'm not a producer, I'm not a director, I don't produce any shows, but if there's one thing that I know, it's these coming next week. These are supposed to get you hyped. These are supposed to make you look forward to watching the next episode, to keep you on the hook. Like, that's the main purpose of them. And I thought, like, one of the worst, there are 2 really bad ones, but one of the worst next week moments was going back episode 5, Mega City Block, or sorry, the episode before it, movie genres. So when they were talking about the whole, you know, making the cities and everything, so they spoiled so much. Like, okay, here's the thing. So as we all know, for those who watched the show, for the Mega City Block episode, Team Engineer or Team Aaron, and I forgot the friend's name, but Team Aaron, their whole city, like, pretty much crashed to the ground, right? And now here's the thing, in the clip, like, I thought it would have just been so much better if they showed it, like, Aaron going, whoa, but they didn't actually show it crash, you know? Like, what would have been more suspenseful? Like, seeing a contestant you really like, and then seeing that their structure might crash down, or literally seeing it topple and then actually fall to the ground. I don't know, I feel like it would have been more hooking to the audience, that suspense, that anxiety of not knowing for a week. I mean, it would have been kind of sucky for us, but at the same time, it really would have like it would have gripped us more if we didn't know that it was actually gonna fall onto the ground. Like, all week, we would be like, oh, is it gonna fall? Is it gonna fall? Ooh, what's gonna happen? But no, they spoiled that, so, I mean, I'm sure people still watch the next episode, but I think that was a little too much of a spoiler. And the biggest spoiler on the show, which really was like, why did you show us that, was episode 9, the one right before the finale. So here's the thing, I mean, maybe this was also just my own preference as well, but no, I think most people would also agree. Like, I don't like spoilers, okay? I hate spoilers. I don't want to know until it is time. And so when they had the whole next week for the exciting ending of Lego Masters, you know, like, of course you're gonna show little clips, but. So here's the thing, I think one of the, if not the most exciting thing about the finale is because this is the time where, did we find out that they were allowed to do anything? No, we didn't. But here's the thing. We were all, you know, for the super fans, we were all very excited to see what would they come up with in the last challenge, in the last defining model of who wins. What are these teams gonna do? And so, oh god, it was so annoying. It was so annoying when they showed like little bits of the finale, and then they showed the entire project of Team. So me and my friend like to call them Team Anger, but hold on, let me just check what their name was. Sam and Jessica, there you go. So I just thought it was so annoying that we saw the entire piece of Sam and Jessica. Like, could you not have shown, I don't know, like, maybe you could have panned a little of the feathers, you know? We wouldn't know exactly that it's a giant peacock then, you know? So, I hated the spoilers during the show, which is why, I mean, if you have a friend who's just about to watch the show, tell them, you know, do a little public service announcement, tell them that please don't watch the next week bits at the end of each show. Alright. Last but not least, my fourth critique of the show is, I think that the judges were a little too involved, okay? Especially during the finale, but we'll get to that in a sec. I think they were just too involved. Like, here's the thing. So I was like reflecting of like other competition shows that I'd seen and thinking about it, like, so for example, let's say like MasterChef and stuff. Like, Gordon Ramsay and them, they would go around during the show and everything, but I don't know, and I guess that was fine. I think that was okay during, you know, like episodes 1 through 9, sorta. I don't know, I kind of just feel, maybe this is my own preference as well, I think as a judge, I think it would be cool if you were there maybe a third of the episode, if not maybe even a fourth of the episode, just to maybe give a little proper guidance and stuff. But I don't know, I feel like if you were there with the contestants from conception of their idea until the end, and then now you're supposed to judge, like, again, I don't like spoilers, so it's like, in a way, what more is there to judge if you've practically been with them like 95% of the time they were building it, you know? And perhaps they weren't, maybe, you know, that's just the episode because of course they have to cut. But it did seem that way. It did seem that they were there from the beginning until the model was practically done. I mean, definitely during the Star Wars episode, they were there for a majority of the time. And I just feel like if we have a season 2, which I hope we do because I really do love the show, I don't know, I guess maybe half the show they could be there, but then the other half would be more focused on the host and maybe the co-host, you know, talking to them about their models and stuff. So that way I think that's also better for the judges, because here's the thing, as much as they want to be, I guess, ideally neutral, like, I think as they're looking at these creations, they kind of, you know, begin to kind of formulate which are the best. I think that just naturally happens. So I think that's my suggestion, or that's what I would do in season 2. Just less involvement of the judges in the whole building process, you know? Just cut that in half. And I thought that was all the more ridiculous in the finale, where, see, I think all the more for the finale, because, like, yeah, this is their moment to really wow you, to really create a showpiece that is supposed to, like, blow your mind. And I think that by them being there from beginning to practically the end, like, how is your mind supposed to be blown when you were there the whole time? So, yeah, those are my main critiques of the show. Again, just lack of prizes, so many time wasters, 3 of the spoilers, and 4 the involvement of the judges. But overall, I love the show. Me and my friend are definitely wishing and hoping that there is a season 2. Oh, and lastly, just doing another quick run of my notes, I do wish that moving forward they also have a little montage for the person who got, teams who got eliminated, because I mean, the show ain't America's Next Top Model, but I think it would have been nice because, you know, it is all about their creation. So if they got eliminated like around episode 9, I think it would be nice for, you know, the audiences that really love the show to see a little slideshow of the work that they've done while they, you know, kind of say their goodbyes over the recording. I think that would have been a nice touch. And lastly, just like another, this isn't even about the show, but this is more of something I think the show should do if they're not already doing, which I don't, from the episode 10, it doesn't seem like they're gonna do this, but since the models were like so nice and like so fun, with like, had so many like really great creations, and obviously, you know, they're doable because these people were able to create them, and sure, some of them are a little complicated, or very complicated actually, but I think it would be so cool if, like, once this coronavirus is gone, I think that in the main Lego stores, like in like the most popular cities, I think they should have these pieces on display. Like, sure, like they may not actually have the product for people to make themselves, which is why maybe they're not really planning to do that, but I think I don't know, I feel like the higher purpose of it would be to really draw people in, because here's the thing, I think most people, you know, associate Legos with kids, you know, it's what the kiddos do, except if you're under 6, because you don't want to choke, but, you know, it's more considered for, like, the youths, and so I think it would be so cool that if their like magnificent pieces were like displayed, you know, it would actually attract, like, yeah, the young adults and upwards, that, oh, I didn't know you could do this with Legos, that's so cool. And also, even if, you know, they wouldn't be able to like provide them with the actual product itself, you know, it's also to plug the show and say, oh yeah, sorry, we don't have pieces for this model, but, you know, if you want to see how it was made, we do have a competition show called Lego Master. So, see, I think it would, number one, accomplish just people getting interested in Legos, you know, outside of the target market. And number two, I think it would be publicity for the show. I mean, like, have you seen some of these pieces? So I think that would be a great idea. Sure, of course, in the main location in New York, yeah, put, of course, the winners, Team Marriage's, final piece there for sure, but I think the other pieces should definitely be shared for share it as well. And lastly, one more thing, which I think everybody would enjoy. I think it would have been so cool too, and maybe they'll do this, maybe they won't, if everybody got to vote on which pieces that they would want Lego to make, because again, they had magnificent pieces, and I'm sure the people who watched, especially the fanatics who have like grown up with Legos, would love to build these pieces. So yeah, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit of a risk, but at the same time, I think it would be a great idea if at least one of the pieces, not more the merrier, if they gave people the chance to actually vote for Lego to make them so that we could make them. For the people who watched this train wreck of a video, you enjoyed it, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. So hi, I just wanted to show you a behind the scenes of me kind of putting together my rough draft of notes down here. God, how do these commentators do this? Just talk for like 30 freaking minutes.